The security organization is already investigating. Let them come out with their report. Once they investigate, even the federal government, they know what to do.
Northern Governors Forum frowns at allegation of sponsorship of Boko Haram terrorists.
I'm appreciating them for bringing me because if they have not bring it, I could have not known what would have happened. Maybe I could have not eaten, but I thank them for bringing it.
School feeding program, what is the take-home ratio?
We have gotten to the point where things will finally be consummated.
Federal government prepares for smooth takeoff of Cross Rivers and Kano State Special Economic Zones.
No one can take the law into his hands and willfully destroy national assets belonging to 200 million of all of us.
Aviation Minister in Enugu says destruction of newly constructed concrete fence of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, unacceptable. It's nice to be here this Friday night. I am Jummai Yusuf with the news. We hope you're enjoying the weather and observing all these safety protocols. Let's not ignore the guidelines. Tonight, Dr. Oguyemi will be reading from Lagos and Ogochukuka will join us from Benin. Welcome to Network News. We begin with the presidency as the federal government has reiterated its readiness to ensure smooth takeoff of the federal government's special economic zones located in Cross River and Kano State. Chimobi Walter in Nigeria reports that this was made known at an event to engage the transaction advisors for the forum in Abuja.
Considering the over 100 billion naira sunk into the development and completion of the Kano and Cross River State Special Economic Zones and Export Processing Zones by the federal government last year, efforts are still being made to ensure project takes off as soon as possible to ensure increased investment opportunities in the country. The signing of an agreement to engage the transaction advisors for the concessioning of the project is to kickstart arrangements for the takeoff of the zones.
We have gotten to the point where things will finally be consummated.
What we are looking at basically is to have a three-tier structure for the concessioning of the two free trade zones. One is the selection of a property ownership company that will have the legal ownership of the two free trade zones. We will then appoint a concessionaire.
The zones, when fully operational, is believed to act as a catalyst for the development of Nigeria's manufacturing sector and growth of the rail sectors. In Abuja, I'm Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
Now to infrastructural development, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency FEMA is leveraging on the August break to repair roads nationwide. The Federal Capital Territory is equally undergoing repairs, with the Abuja Kefi being the latest. Ikechukwu Nduke reports.
Idowuda Mola, a frequent user of the Abuja Kefi Road, felt relieved, citing the repairs of the lost portions where he had to dodge criminals who rob at the failed portion of the road at night on few occasions.
You know how this place can be, you know how we can be as Nigerians. At least that it's been done like this time. Beautiful.
FEMA is not just recovering lost pavements of the road, but even the shoulder to ensure expansion and smooth flow of traffic.
On this particular axis, there is still an action going on where we call it snake farm on this particular axis before Kefi.
So we are putting a lot of time, a lot of resources to make sure these roads are well maintained at all times.
We will ensure that most of the drainages are taken care of, they are completely desilted, and the carriageways are properly patched.
In Abuja, Ikechukwu Nduke, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Power has resolved to summon all agencies that have benefited from the 1.3 trillion naira so far injected into the power sector by the federal government. This has become necessary to reconcile figures presented by some agencies and the Office of the Accountant General, with a view to properly guide the House on the best way to handle challenges in the power sector. Chairman of the committee, Ado Dogwa, stated this while briefing newsmen at the end of an interactive session with representatives of the Central Bank Governor.
what is practically important in our engagement with the central bank today is like we have confirmed that significant amount of public resources have actually been injected into the power sector. And our concern as members representing the interests of our people basically is to find out why, despite these disbursements, huge disbursements of public funds, taxpayers' money, why is it that we still have problems bedeviling the power subsector of Nigeria? That has to be stopped.
The leader of the House of Representatives urged agencies to endeavor to respond to invitations when scheduled to avoid undue delays in arriving at legislative decision. The federal government is driving reforms on the housing sector to provide mass and affordable housing for Nigerians. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola says the new initiatives are to bridge the housing deficit in the country. Joshua Ojito reports.
Driving the reforms in the housing sector is the Federal Housing Authority, whose mandate is to, among others, initiate and deliver mass housing for Nigerians. Federal government has now developed a new approach to provide houses for Nigerians, and the new management team to drive the implementation has been inaugurated. They have the target to provide sites and services, houses for low and medium income earners.
And there are also the emerging demand among young people who want small spaces, who don't have this habit of building large houses. So those are the kind of people you perhaps need to survey what their needs are now and how to respond to them.
It is in support of this new direction that my colleagues and I hereby pledge our unalloyed support and commitment to the PFD-led administration's vision of providing affordable and accessible housing for Nigerians.
The new initiative is receiving legislative support towards ensuring that every Nigerian owns a house. In Abuja, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Minister of Aviation Senator Hadi Sirika has described as unacceptable the destruction of the newly constructed concrete fence of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, by an individual. The minister was in Enugu to inspect the level of damage on the perimeter fence, which is one of the component contracts in the Enugu Airport Rehabilitation Project. Susan Eze has the report.
About 2 kilometers of the airport fence and some private property were on Wednesday pulled down by bulldozers, allegedly deployed by one Mr. Jerry Emejulu, who is allegedly laying claims to the property. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika is here for an on-the-spot assessment of damages on the airport's property.
Also an opportunity for government to show that no one can take the law into his hands and willfully destroy national asset belonging to 200 million of all of us.
Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi also visited the scene and condemned the act in its entirety. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Now, the federal government, in partnership with the International Fund for Agricultural Development, is set to plant 400,000 assorted fertilizer trees across 7 states of the Federation. Musa Baba Aliu reports that the trees will be planted on 2,000 hectares linking Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi and Katsina states.
This tree with botanical name Acacia Senegal is popularly referred in northern Nigeria as Gao. Farmers call it fertilizer tree, though it is a desert plant which produces leaves during the dry season but dries up during the rainy season. 80-year-old Ahmadu Godebe, a farmer in Garki local government area of Jigawa State, says despite the organic nature of the tree for improving agricultural produce, people use most of the trees in this community for energy and shelter purposes. He said they regretted their action as they are now in their need of this wonder tree. Hope is not, however, lost for the 80-year-old farmer, as his farm is among the designated sites for the fertilizer tree planting project of IFAD and the federal government.
Research within the West African sub-region has shown that there was an increase of between 50 to 150% in the yield of millet grown under fertilizer tree cover.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mahmoud Sabananunu says the initiative will further assist in addressing soil degradation, improve soil fertility, and address poverty among the farming communities. Jigawa State is to seek a legislation for a stiffer punishment for any person who felled trees, especially Gao, in the state.
We have raised 10 million trees in this state, and we still have about 24 nurseries that raise trees. We are going to double that in the next 3 years, and we will include Gao in this project.
Malam Ahmadu Gwadebe, alongside officials from the federal and state governments, pledged to nurse the planted trees. From Garki local government area of Jigawa State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema has commended the Lebanese community in Nigeria for the repatriation of 500 stranded Nigerian girls working in Lebanon. Hamid Jabani reports.
The joint meeting by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, Hussam Diab, is to rub minds on the plight of the stranded Nigerian girls in Lebanon that were brought back on Wednesday night. Both parties highlighted the cordial relationship between both countries and promised the ties will be sustained, just as the Lebanese government has stopped the issuance of visa to young girls going to Lebanon to work as a measure to curb future occurrences.
And we have seen successive flights coming in, bringing back these Nigerians, the majority of whom are young girls. So we thank you very much for that cooperation between the private sector, the Lebanese community, and our two governments.
The numbers that are stranded are so far the ones that we have brought back. I think we're bringing back another 200 that are registered with the Nigerian embassy in Lebanon.
Geoffrey Onyema said federal government has concluded all arrangements to bring back Nigerian students in Saudi Arabia. He also sympathized with the government and people of Lebanon over the port blast that caused devastation, adding that Nigeria will gladly help in any way possible, saying no Nigeria is affected in the Beirut blast. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with Abdul Shuaibu Oro, a journalist, lawyer, civil rights activist, politician and administrator as he turns 60 on Saturday, August 15, 2020. A statement from the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says the president on the joyful occasion rejoices with the celebrant, a former member of the House of Representatives, his family and friends, joining them to thank God for good health, sound mind and continued service to God and humanity. At 60, the president urges Honorable Oro to sustain his passion for the country as Nigeria is destined to take her place in the Committee of Nations. He also enjoins the former Edo State Commissioner to further deploy his multi-skills to touch lives and emancipate society, noting that such public-spiritedness would never go unrewarded. More on security matters and order reports when we return after the break. Stay with us.
Every year, new sets of Nigerian graduates are released into an oversaturated job market. As a final year student, I can't help but feel very anxious of what the future holds. I think about the pathways that would guarantee my financial independence and how my personal choices will affect my country. Do I join the more than 1.7 million of unemployed and underemployed graduates in Nigeria who are either searching for a job or looking to start their own business? Or do I follow more than 1.2 million Nigerian migrants in diaspora who left the shores of our country in search of a better life? My name is Stacey Ojiwewe, and this is my story of becoming a Nigerian graduate.
Just getting the ball, and a shot call for there. Oh!
You need to recharge your DSTV or GoTV subscription easily, but our office dey far small. You fit use our app to recharge or fix errors. No wahala. Or if you like one-on-one service, our Sabi Men agents full ground. Dem be certified field service agent wey fit help you with any gbege. Sabi men dey for you. If you wan recharge your subscription and sharply activate your account, dem fit help you resolve any technical challenge or customer inquiry. How you go take know dem? Na with dem Sabi man jacket, branded face cap and backseat box machine wey dem hold. Na so you go sabi our Sabi men for your area. So, whether na my DSTV app, my GoTV app or Sabi men wey dey your area, make sure say you continue to enjoy world-class quality entertainment anytime at your convenience. We dey your side.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC, just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
Thanks for rejoining us. Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State has described the Director General of Nigerian Television Authority as a formidable force in the nation's media industry. The governor was speaking during a visit to the DG in Abuja. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The governor commends the DG's strides in using the national medium to accommodate large interest of the nation's population and project the image of the country in a positive light. He says he will continue to depend on NTA for reliable, credible and balanced reportage and provide strategic role in promoting the ideal of the organization.
Continue to thank Mr. President for the confidence reposed in you. And I pray that Almighty God will continue to grant you the strength and the good health and the wisdom to lead this station. Amen. Because this station, I've seen, is going beyond what we were expecting. So that whoever will come in will all be able to carry out the legacies too.
Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed describes Governor Lalong as a peace strategist who promotes unity and social cohesion on the plateau through purposeful leadership.
I remember there was a time I wrote 2 pieces titled "Give Me Back My Plateau State, Give Me Back My Jaws." And I'm glad today to say that God has answered my prayers through the inspiring leadership of Your Excellency. Jaws is coming back to what it has always been, a home of peace, a home of hospitality, a place that belongs to everybody.
The DG appreciates his sustainable passion and support to the operation of NTA and laws his quality leadership to the Northern Governors Forum in Abuja. Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Talking security now, Nigerian military scales up security operations in Southern Kaduna and other parts of the country as Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole continues to take action against extremist movements. Defense correspondent Najaatu Tijani has details.
Isolated killings and attacks on communities in southern Kaduna have warranted the Nigerian military to deploy special forces and troops of Operation Safe Haven to the area. Other military operations in different zones of the country are also focusing on intercepting extremists trying to re-establish themselves across the West African sub-region.
This positive signal is connected to the directive by the Commander-in-Chief to the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies tackling the various security challenges in the country to go ahead and do more.
Meanwhile, the Air Task Force of Operation Laifia Dole has eliminated scores of Islamic State of West Africa province fighters and destroyed compounds housing them at Tongule in the Lake Chad area of northern Borno following confirmatory intelligence and surveillance missions. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has commended the Air Task Force for its professionalism. Naja Atutijani, NTA News.
Special forces deployed to Southern Kaduna to cope the insistent attacks on the communities have arrived the Sector 7 headquarters of Operation Safe Haven in Kafanchan for further redeployment to the flashpoints. Mohammed Umar Anjigi reports that the Kaduna State Government delegation led by the State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, says government will give the force necessary support to succeed in the operation. He expressed optimism that the deployment of the special forces to Southern Kaduna will contain security challenges in the axis as the state government is conducting series of engagements with traditional rulers, religious and community leaders, civil society groups and other agencies for lasting solution to the crisis. The governor's representative was received at the base by the Commander Sector 7 Operation Safe Haven, Kafanchan, Colonel David Nwakonobi. The Nigerian Navy has signed a memorandum of understanding which will expand the hydrological survey of inland waterways to enhance the export of Nigerian goods among other trade benefits. Defense correspondent Naja Atutijani reports.
Displaying terms of an agreement which is projected to be a game changer in exportation, the Nigerian Navy has